another episode of Both Sides Podcast. I am your host, Chima Nukru, here with my lovely co-host, Gloria.
Hey.
So what's up with her? Jeez, man. Lord, it's supposed to be on cue, Gloria. Come on. But we are just here giving you another, bring to you another episode of loveliness. This week we're gonna start off, reviewing a few things that happened in the past week. Some tragedies that we want to take a moment of silence for. Just give you some basic information about it in case you haven't been keeping up with the news. Then after that, we're going to go into, just what you guys did for Valentine's Day. And we're going to end it off with spoilers of the greatest movie to ever hit cinema, The Black Panther. Okay. I'm excited, as you can clearly hear.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get started. Want to just take a moment of silence for, the victims that did lose their lives in this school shooting this week done by Nicholas Cruz, where 17 people were dead at Major Lee Stoneman Douglas High School right outside Boca Raton, Florida. I think nowadays we really I feel like every month there's some tragedy that involves guns, and we do the whole, yelling about gun reform, yelling at the NRA and the GOP, then nothing, and it's pretty much that whole cycle.
Right.
So honestly, I'm just tired of it. Honestly, the only reason I even looked into the whole thing was because I wanted to give more information about it to you guys, for those that don't really watch the news like that. Not because I didn't feel sorry for the victims, but because I feel it's a reoccurring theme. Like it happens so much, and there's only but so much negativity you can really put in your mind before that thing really starts to affect you.
And
so
that's true.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And I think especially like with a time like this, and I see a lot of the kids, on social media talking about pretty much what this has done for them. And another thing to note too is, and I think is insensitive of the media, is like interviewing the kids right after this tragic incident. Like I get that you're trying to get, I don't know, what is it, like a soundbite or something from these, but they just went through something traumatic. Like I really don't think interviewing them is the best thing to do at that current moment. Like I really think they should give people time. And so I really don't like that the news or the media does that. But either way, people lost their lives, and I think it goes into so many aspects about, like you said, gun reform and mental health. And I just really wish for the families and friends of these kids and, teachers that lost their lives that they find some type of solace, and we really need to do better. This is unexcusable. Like we cannot let this happen again.
Bro, it's tiring. And I get it, because, the NRA wants to make so much money off guns and things like that. They don't want to take a look into these things. But like I said, I honestly didn't want to focus so much on it, because I know that as fucked up as it sounds, like I don't think much is going to come off it. After Sandy Hook and everything, I don't think no amount of shootings that will happen will really make any changes, spark any changes whatsoever. But yeah, so I do want to give just a quick moment of silence for those victims that lost their lives, and I do hope that their families, find some sort of solace and comfort in the coming times. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I know that was kind of very short, guys, but podcast is here.
Oh my God.
You have to share that time. So you have to shorten it a lot. Gloria, I know we have
a lot of moment of silences on the podcast,
which is so bad.
Show. Right.
It's so bad. Like it's so terrible.
Bad.
But yeah. Gloria, I know we do have another one coming up.
I know. I guess that's why that one was super short. But for people, some people might know, maybe a lot of you guys don't know, but a Ghanaian artist by the name of Ebony tragically lost her life in a car accident along with her friend Frankie and also a military military personnel on February 8th, which was a week before her 21st birthday. And she really started gaining popularity in Ghana for her music. And she was also known as being a bit provocative. And so she had plenty of tattoos. And, Ghana is still pretty much a conservative country. So the way she dressed and the things she talks about her music and things like that, kind of shook people up. They weren't ready for that. But she was unapologetically herself. And that's what I think is the biggest thing to take away from, her unfortunately short life. And so I guess her real name is actually Priscilla Opoku. I'm not going to pretend like I could even really say the last name, Kwarteng. And her friend Frankie Curie, also her name was Francesca Casa. So I know today they're burying her, or they did the 1 week memorial service, and I think both Frankie and Ebony are being buried in March. And I unfortunately don't know much about the military personnel, but if you guys do have a chance to check out her music, you should. Obviously, she's Afro beats and stuff, and I know she recently performed at the Afrochella festival this past Christmas. So I just want to take also a quick moment of silence for Ebony, Frankie, and the military personnel that tragically lost their lives in a car accident.
Yes. All right, guys. Like I said, podcasting time. Understand that seriously, that it is tragic. In life, I really try to make, I won't say light of situations, but there's only so much negativity like your psyche can really handle before it really starts to take a toll on you. So I don't want to spend too much time on negative aspects of it. I do still want to celebrate, the lives of people that do live on this earth. So always want to put people in a positive light and definitely give people their love and admiration while they're still alive, as opposed to waiting till they're dead before you finally, say those right things to them. Okay. Speaking of love and admiration, we're definitely going to just talk about, a recap of Valentine's Day. What did you guys get for Valentine's Day? Were you guys cheated on?
That is horrible.
Did you re-gift a gift that was given to you, to your side ting? What happened? Gloria, did you get anything for Valentine's Day?
No, this year actually, it was very quiet on my end. Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
Well, that's
no, you are so annoying.
I mean, we could take a moment of silence for that too, guys.
You are such a jackass. I can't stand you. But yeah, it was quiet on my side. Did you get anything for Valentine's Day?
No, I did not get anything either. I mean, I sent something. I did something for Valentine's Day. I don't really expect much when it comes to gift giving. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm kind of sick, so my voice sounds weird. That's why. But again, I don't really expect gifts on Valentine's Day. I usually am the gift giving guy. So for Valentine's Day, I sent Bae her favorite flowers. Got her some tulips. Sent it to her job with some chocolates and balloons and a teddy bear. Sent it to her job on purpose in the middle of the day, while her boss was there and everything. So everybody was grilling her and stuff like that.
Yes, can I say too, sorry to cut you off, but can I also say, like, having stuff delivered at work is definitely like, everybody's like, oh my God, what's that from? Like, you know what I'm saying? That happened at work and everybody's like, ooh, oh my God, someone really loves you. I'm like, guys, relax.
Unfortunately that wouldn't work for me, because the delivery guy has to go through so much security at my job that it wouldn't even be worth the time to even send it to my job at all. But it was fun though. So she was blushing that hard, and she's a very shy person. So like any sort of attention that's put on her is gonna turn her purple, because she's dark skinned. Hey,
Wow. Wow, ass wipe. Like,
Woo,
Yo,
I turn purple
I
too.
don't even have words. That's no, my G, you don't. Like, you so irritating for that.
Yeah, I'm dead. Team chocolate out here, but from social media, it seemed like people had a nice time on social media. I saw people, the entire beds of hotel rooms covered in roses, and yeah, it looked quite expensive
Yeah, honestly, I really consider Valentine's Day. It's like a Valentine's Day Olympics. It's kind of like, let me
for real.
see who got something super nice, super swanky, or even if it's not swanky, what did you get? You know what I'm saying?
For
What
real.
was put up? I like to see that. I mean, either way, I enjoy it. I really enjoy seeing how creative people get for gifts.
Hmm.
So keep putting all that stuff up. I like seeing
Social
it.
media, right? I
Hmm.
saw a lot of salty people too, though, who I guess were single and wouldn't let people enjoy their fun. And why do you have to post? I don't get people who post stuff on social media. Like, bro, if you don't get your hurt ass out of here, yo, it's all
Right. I'm
good.
like, people will do whatever they want to do and who cares? Like,
Anyway,
honestly, at the end of the day, it's not killing anybody. If they want to put it up, if they don't put it up, but like, who cares? Like, people will
for
do
real.
whatever they want to do, you know?
Uh, but yeah, shout out to everybody. Everybody's, if you were single this year or you didn't get anything this year or your side chicks isn't giving you anything this year, you guys need to
Yikes.
reevaluate what you're doing in life. And definitely look forward to next year because, set a goal for yourself. So next year you do get something for Valentine's Day. You're not just there looking at social media. Okay. Alrighty.
Oh, gosh.
Guys, I wanted to clear through those past topics again. Respect to those that lost their lives, but I again make negativity out and positivity in. Just want to tell you that going forward, I want to put this disclaimer out there. There will be spoiler alerts for Black Panther. So if you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you just table this podcast until you're done seeing the movie and revisit the podcast again because we're talking everything Black Panther. I had to force Gloria to go see this movie because I was going to spoil this movie for her if she didn't see the movie. So there you have it.
I
Okay.
saw the movie.
So let's talk King T'Challa, King T'Chaka, Njidaka, son of Njobu. Let's talk Black Panther.
Honestly, there are so many ways to tackle Black Panther. What did I think of Black Panther? It was awesome. I really thought it was a really good movie. Only because, and I did watch Civil War before watching Black Panther because I knew, that's when Black Panther first appeared, and I fell asleep watching Civil War. So
Wow.
I was like, I really did.
Wow.
Like straight knocked out in the movie theater, like mouth open, everything. I was just so tired. I had a long day and that was like a bad idea. But either way, I did. So I was like, let me rewatch it so I could kind of see. Like, I didn't even realize that Black Panther was in the movie because I fell asleep. So I was like, okay,
Wow.
rewatched it. And so I think it gave like, a little preface to what's to come in Black Panther. And honestly, it was good. I felt the vibes. Even when I left the movie theater, I saw these two young Black boys, like maybe no older than 5, and they were like, I want to be T'Challa. And I was like, oh my God. And me and the mom like kind of locked eyes at the moment and we kind of smiled because we knew what that meant. So I was like, oh, like it was good. I enjoyed it. What did you think?
I enjoy the movie a lot. I don't know where to start with this. No, like I'm like a kid I guess like a fat kid in the candy store or a bakery right now. I don't know where even. So with Black Panther, okay, to start with Civil War, you didn't really need to see Civil War, to watch the Black Panther movie because you could have still gotten it. The only part that you may have been a little confused was after the credits where they showed Bucky, with the one arm coming out of the hut or house, I can't remember what it was, because in Civil War, Captain America took Bucky to Wakanda, to get his arm repaired and to get healed because his arm is made of vibranium, if you didn't know that. But you didn't really need to see Civil War to watch Black Panther. You could definitely still understand Black Panther itself. There were a lot of people even in my theater because I went to a screening to watch the movie. Well, let's see. I don't know what else. Okay, so Black Panther. My expectations, what I thought about it. The movie itself was great. Was there a lot of action? No, I would say no for an action based movie or for like a comic type movie. Like if you compare Civil War to Black Panther, there was way more action in Civil War than there was in Black Panther, and I was okay with that. Black Panther kind of took it from a different perspective. They definitely addressed a lot of, you know, I guess social issues in a way that was digestible. In some ways, a way that everybody, at least Black, actually, no, everybody in the world could really relate to that because you were depicted in one way or another in that movie, except if you're Asian or some shit, whatever. Then you know you weren't depicted at all. But the movie itself, the movie itself was good. It was very good. I do want to go see it again. I would go see it probably 2 or 3 more times.
Because I really feel like because there's so many angles to look at it, like you can watch it from a different perspective, like the first time, the second time, even the third time, if you wanted to.
I already pre-ordered it on Comcast, like on my TV. You can actually pre-order the movie. So I paid $22. So as soon as it comes out on digital, I already have the movie waiting for me.
That is so expensive. Why is that $22?
I mean, if you think about a DVD is like $25 anyway. Like a Blu-ray DVD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's about 20.
Sorry,
I mean,
I'm not familiar.
A lot of people don't watch movies and stuff on DVDs anymore. We go to the theater or we just stream it online or some shit. But like, it's usually that's kind of the standard price for movies, especially premium movies that just come out. Again, sorry guys for my voice. I'm really sick, but I'm trying to get this out. About a year ago, go away. About a year ago, I predicted, I was telling my group chat that Black Panther is going to be one of the highest grossing movies to come out in the box office. I said that it was going to surpass The Dark Knight Rises because I think Dark Knight Rises is one of the top 5 openings ever. With probably like, can't remember, like 100 something, like 100 something million.
Yeah, it's like The Dark Knight, Avatar, Titanic. I think those are the top 5.
But no, I didn't predict it for just movies in general. I just predicted it for just comics because I know Dark Knight and Avengers
for like Marvel.
Yeah, no, just like comics in general. So DC, anything that has to do with comic books, like Dark Knight is DC. It's not Marvel,
right?
So I predicted that hey, from the way I see this movie, the height that's going to come out of it, it's going to be higher than The Dark Knight Rises. People were like, Chima, you're crazy. How could you believe such a thing? Blah, 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 this and that. And lo and behold,
here we go.
Lo and behold, Black Panther is set to make a $200 million box office weekend, opening weekend. That is wild. That is wild.
And I think it broke the record for, I think,
pre-orders,
most tickets sold for UK in the UK. Broke the record. It's like number one.
I think, and it was like, I think it also broke the record for the highest ticket sales before the actual movie. So like pre-orders on like Fandango and stuff like that, it broke that record too. And I said, this is the hype that came from this movie because when you see a movie, and it's like the great thing about a movie, like if you've never watched comics books before, if you're not into comics and stuff, like just the hype alone forced you to go watch this movie.
Right.
You know, there was just something about this movie that made you just want to watch it. And I don't know, it's wild. So enough with that though. Just in general, guys, it was a great movie. What did you wear to the movie theater?
So I actually even put it on my IG story. I wore regular clothes. I mean, I was actually dressed in all black coincidentally, not for any reason, like all Black Panther theme. I always wear black. So I just end up wearing all black. And I honestly been wearing a head wrap all week because I've been lazy with my hair, this week. So just continued that trend into watching Black Panther, just had a head wrap. And that's it. It wasn't even like, anything like African print or a kente or anything like that. It really was just a scarf and I just wrapped it around my head. But a lot of people was like, oh my God, are you getting ready for Black Panther? And I'm like, no, actually it's just cause I didn't feel like doing my hair. So it's just wrapped. But
I was just ran with it.
That's
I would have ran with it. I was like, yeah, you know, getting ready for Black Panther, blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm wearing. I would have just ran with it, but hey.
Yeah. And I think a part of me too was like, kind of careful because I didn't want, my head wrap to obstruct the view of everybody else because I did wrap it kind of tall. So like I was like, oh, let me, make it a little more modest for the movie theater because I want to make sure people could see over it. But I honestly, the movie theater, at least the showing that I went to and the movie theater that I went to, I didn't really see anyone dressed up, but I have seen a lot of people on my timeline. And just pictures in general, crazy. Like people really showed out. Out. So I thought that was really nice. I really appreciated it. Like everyone looked nice. Everyone showed out. I loved, how people went full blown out, like head to toe in traditional wear. And some people just did a little, piece here and there. Stuff. Like either way, I thought everything looked nice. So what did you wear?
It was so good. I mean, I had this elaborate plan to wear traditional, but I woke up that morning because my viewing was at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday morning, yesterday. And I had this, okay, I'm going to wear this, I want to wear that. But because of how anxious I was for the movie, my viewing was 11:30 a.m. But I woke up at 6 a.m. because I was like, yo, did I miss the time yet? Did I oversleep? Bro, for like 5 hours. I was so worried. So by the time it got time for me to get dressed, I was just so tired from being up and not missing the time and going to sleep every 10 minutes and waking up every 10 minutes so I don't miss the movie. That by the time I woke up, I was like, yo, whatever. I just threw on black shirt with some black jeans and shoes. Like I'm always wearing all black anyway. So like I just wore my black and I went out. My brother, on the other hand, he actually dry cleaned his traditional. He wore it with, he went all out. Like if you, his Instagram what's his Instagram name? 15 Naira, I think.
15, plug that. I need to see
that. 15 Naira is 15 NAIRA underscore. 15 NAIRA underscore. 15 Naira. Like he went there and his some of his friends and my family friends as well, they all went together and he wore like our native wear from my dad's side. He wore that to the movie theater and everything. He went correct. My cousin.
I see. All right. Looking official. Wakanda is where he at. I feel it.
Well, that's wild. But my cousin also, he was also at the viewing I went to. He went there with the full blown traditional wear with walking stick and everything. Like he had the elephant on the walking stick. Was
that in your IG story?
Yeah, in my IG story. Yep. If you guys want to take a look at what he wore, you can look at his Instagram. It's AFRI underscore KENNA. So that's Afri, AFRI underscore KENNA. That's what he wore to the whole thing with the hat, with the beads, the walking stick, everything.
It looked official. I liked it.
Yeah, like he went there for real, and he was like, "Oh, Chima, I'm so disappointed in you. Out of all people, I thought you would wear." And normally, I normally dress up to go to these things, so it was very odd of me not to. But I was just lazy at that point in time and tired.
Shaking my head.
But yeah, a lot of people did dress up though. It was wild. It was wild. One thing I was shocked to see though was the reaction to people wanting to dress up. A lot of people were so angry and saying that how could you have all these people, well, they were really coming at Black Americans. This was Africans, especially some Black people as well, coming at Black Americans for saying that, oh, why are you wearing your just the kente cloth you saw at the African store, or you're just wearing some African clothing that people wear to go on errands, to go to see the movie. And I was really confused by why people were getting so upset at this. I just didn't understand what the I don't get it. Like people, I mean, the people's excuse was like, for Star Wars movies that, people would be dressed up as characters from the movie. But I get your point, right? But to that, is the only thing you could really dress up as is maybe Killmonger and Black Panther, just because they were the only costumes that were really shown a lot. Or
you could be the Warriors.
I mean, yeah.
It's a little cold for that, but you could definitely try.
I mean, you could try the Dora Milaje, but I don't know exactly where you would have found it. I mean, if you wanted it to be hard,
Mm-hmm.
but again, regardless, the thing that kind of struck to me, or I guess that I guess I would argue against what they were saying was that the Wakanda itself is made up of different. The movie itself was made up of different, I guess, traditions. You know, you have different countries within Africa that were represented in that movie. So whether you wanted to dress like somebody from South Africa, or you wanted to dress like an Igbo man, or you wanted to dress like somebody like a Ghanaian man, or whatever, you could have done that and still be, you know, and still would have represented, because there were different aspects of that movie that represented each culture. So I don't understand what the big fuss was about.
Right.
You know?
And even to your point of, different, you know, cultures represented in Black Panther 1, I think people are so aggy. I just want to say people are so aggy, because it's like
aggy, bro.
Every time someone tries to do something, it's like, oh, well, why are you doing it? Because they're just like, damn, just let people do what they want to do. It's not killing anyone. Everybody looks fly as hell. Like, I mean, if you don't look fly, if everybody look corny, I could understand. But people show out. I think it was nice. People really wanted to embrace the whole Black Panther theme. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, I feel like
I don't get it.
Let people try to enjoy. Let people have nice things. Let people enjoy nice things. You know what I'm saying?
Like, exactly. I don't get it, man. But again, like, yo, at the end of the day, I was telling people, listen, wear what you want to wear. You're not African, or whether you're African, you're not African. Listen, go and represent. This is one time where, you know, Africa is being put on us. I mean, I'm sure there are other movies as well, but like, this is a major time where we're representing a comic book series and things like that. So, of course, you just want to be hype and you want to embrace it.
Right.
But I don't know, niggas.
And I think even to, yes, they are going to be accurate, but even to your point of different cultures being represented in Black Panther, what do you think about that? Because I did see a few things online in regards to some things didn't seem consistent, because Wakanda, I think it was based off of, a lot of the stuff was based off of South African culture. Now, I don't know, you know, which tribe, which culture, because, you know, obviously there's many tribes and cultures within that as well. But, excuse me, there were some things that were inconsistent in terms of even some of the clothing. As you know, towards the end, T'Challa was wearing kente in his robe. Obviously, that's native to my homeland of Ghana. Some accents sounded like Igbo or Nigerian. Some sounded South African. You know, some people were like the consistency of certain things, even within the African culture, was inconsistent. So I don't know. Some people did make a comment about that and stating that they didn't really like that. They wanted things to be a little more consistent, since they were basing it off of South Africa. So I don't know if you had an issue with that, if that was anything you even thought of.
Well, I think a lot of it was based off, I don't know how to pronounce it, guys. You know, if you're a South African, you know, let me know. It's Xosa. I mean, I'm guessing it's Zosa, but I don't think that's how to pronounce it. They everything was based off that. And I don't know if that's, I think it's more than just a language. It should be the culture itself as well.
I believe it is, but
okay,
we could definitely clarify that as well.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. Repeat your question one more time. I just lost my whole train of thought.
Wow. The question was that basically, I guess, a melting pot of African cultures in the movie, and the inconsistency with, like, even down to the accents or certain things in terms of the clothing. Like, did that bother you or no?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, because I think it was really beautiful. And one of my followers literally just tweeted this before we even started recording, that I want to read her exact tweet to you. She said, Wakanda may not be real, but Black Panther is very much a mix of real regional, ethnic, and cultural customs. Pulling from East, West, North, and South Africa, we see so much of our people and traditions, and that's part of what makes the movie so brilliant. It offers proper representation. I can't stress how important that is. And this is from Vohandas. Vohandas, that's her Twitter name. Vohandas. She's Kenyan. And I think the movie was, that's really what made the movie so brilliant, because it really pulled from everywhere. Like, I felt represented in the movie Not just because it was based, I guess, it's based in Africa, but because even one of the characters, M'Baku, who was played by Winston Duke, he actually said because of his tribe's role in the movie, they wanted to separate themselves from what everybody else was doing. So, like, guys, in the movie Black Panther, pretty much Wakanda is made up of different tribes. Now, at one point in time, one of the tribes kind of broke off because they didn't know what the other tribes were doing in terms of technology and stuff in the movie. So they kind of migrated over to the mountains. Now, because the other Wakandan tribes kind of heavily focused on the South African language and the dialect and the culture in a sense, he decided to focus on something else. So he pulled from the Igbo culture. So a lot of those words, what he was saying, his accent was pretty much Igbo in a sense. So
it definitely was Igbo.
It was Igbo, yeah. So
when I listened to it, I was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he and obviously, if you guys don't know, my name is Chima. I'm Igbo. My parents are Igbo. So I definitely felt represented in that movie, even though Wakanda is fictional. It's not a real place, but it felt so real, and it was definitely important for them to depict the entire continent in the movie in some way, shape, or form, whether it was through the music, whether it was through dancing. It was so important for them to show that. And Ryan Coogler, is it Coogler or Cougar?
I think it's Coogler.
Coogler, which is director of Black Panther, did a phenomenal job. I think they did their homework in trying to make this culturally sound, I
think
those.
So too. And you could see it from the depiction of, even from the other tribe leaders when they sit around and counsel with a guy with a plate in his mouth, like with the
lady with
woman
the clay in her hair.
Yes,
I was like,
I thought it was a representative of everything. Even, they kind of played on a little bit with the representation. All I saw was the kente cloth. I'm kidding, but I really did want us to have a larger role. But even with the kente cloth, I was like, damn, you could see a touch of
everything.
I guess I want to say, everything from different regions represented in Wakanda. So I like that because, the tweet you just stated, like a lot of times when the Europeans came and put borders on these countries, a lot of these tribes were like forced to interact with each other, and a lot of things, they had to bring together different cultures, different ways of living, way to eat food. So all that stuff varies. So I think Wakanda, especially it being a fictional place, you really have the room to make it what you want it to be. It doesn't have to, apply by certain regional rules or languages or even customs because, it's a fictional place. So you really can have someone in the mountains with the Igbo accent or, someone with a plate in their mouth or, T'Challa wearing kente cloth. Like it's encompassing of everything. So I thought that was good. I liked it.
But it was one thing that kind of threw me off though was erik-killmonger. So in the movie, guys, erik-killmonger is obviously if you guys saw the movie, you will be. I'm guessing those who are listening at this point in time saw the movie. Erik-killmonger is a son of T'Chaka's brother. So he's obviously T'Challa's cousin. Who was left in Oakland. They did him so dirty. How you just gonna leave the boy in Oakland on the basketball court? Well, he just killed his pops like.
And that's the thing that killed me. After we learned that backstory of the first scene when they opened up with, I was like, oh damn, like he really left him.
Bruh,
like that's your blood, bruh. That's your nephew.
That's crazy. In the opening scene, I didn't realize that was his son though until like later on. They showed. I was like, oh shit, that's actually Killmonger. He came up and he saw his dad on the ground and all that. But like, how do you leave? It's not even like he was like an adopted kid or he didn't have any Wakanda blood in him. Or like, bruh, like if T'Challa died, like he technically should be the heir to the throne in a sense, right? So it's like, how do you leave a whole royal bloodline just because I guess maybe his mom was African American? I just leave the man on a basketball court like that. Like that shit is so wild.
But speaking of, did they really say like why he left? Like, I mean, was it implied because the mother was African American?
I mean,
like, I don't know.
I was just guessing, honestly, because the dad was brought to the USA to spy, to, I guess, to see how things were done and things like that. So
Right. They call that what, the war dogs or something?
I
Isn't that
can't
what they
remember
call
what it
them?
was. I see. That's why I gotta go see the movie again
Pay
so I can get all these
attention.
little names. Bro, there's so much to take in at one time. So,
Mm. Mm.
so yeah, the dad was brought there to spy along with Zuri, his, the priest guy, who was played by Forrest Whitaker. He was brought there to accompany Jobu, who is played by, what's the guy's name from This Is Us?
Sterling Brown. Is that his name?
Sterling K. Brown?
Yeah, Sterling Brown. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I wasn't sure about the last name. Yeah, his name is Sterling Brown.
Yeah, he was played by him, and it wasn't really. See, when T'Challa went back to talk to his father after he was buried in the sand, he didn't really allude to why he left him there. T'Challa just said that was one of the worst things he could have done. So honestly, the only thing I can think of was because he technically had the child. I won't say out of wedlock, but because it was kind of a secret child, and nobody knew about. That's why T'Challa probably didn't want to bring him back home. Yeah, plus, even with the whole African thing as well, when you kind of have a child out of wedlock and, it's kind of looked down upon. So let's be kind of throwing some kind of experience at the movie, even though it wasn't kind of clearly stated there. I don't know, but that's
right. Because technically, wouldn't that be a bastard child? I know that's harsh, but isn't that legit?
Would it be a bastard child? No, is that a bastard child? I thought a bastard child was the one who doesn't have a father.
No, I thought a bastard child is if you're not with the mother. Okay,
I don't
we'll
know, guys.
later.
You guys let us know. Just tweet us what a bastard child is. But either way, this is what happens when you go so much off track. But my whole point was saying that with erik-killmonger, I didn't like the way the scarring thing on his body, because the scarring is actually, I think it's a rite of passage in, I can't remember, was it Ethiopia or
some country in East Africa? It is a country in East Africa, and I kind of wanted to look into that a little more, only because I was like, I know, well, obviously he explained his ways of getting that, but I don't know why they do it. So I wanted to know if it went hand in hand or if it had no correlation.
I don't think so. I think it's a rite of passage for the men growing up to get the scarring. I don't think it's based on the amount of people that you've killed. Because that's what erik-killmonger's was. Each little scar here is for each person I've killed. And just to say, Killmonger, that you're going to hell, bro. Because to have all them scars for all the people you killed, your soul is irredeemable. That's going straight first class second to hell.
Can we talk about? Let me speak about a point, because when Michael B. Jordan or erik-killmonger, is it Monger or Monger? Monger. When he took off his shirt when he was about to battle T'Challa, I saw Michael B. Jordan in a new light. I was like, oh, my man's hit the gym. You can tell he been training. His brown skin was looking perfect. Honestly, the men were very handsome. I never looked at Chadwick Boseman. Or Boseman. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say nobody's name. Chadwick Boseman, when he rolled up on the screen, I thought, oh, he's actually kind of
41
handsome.
Who was 41 years? Bro, 41 years of age.
He looks like he's 28.
That's crazy. He does looks like he's probably, I'll give him like early 30s. Like, I thought this man was early 30s. That's what he was. But this man is 41 years old. That is crazy.
He looks so good for his age.
Crazy. Like, I'm just starting to think about, like, that is so wild. Even, what's her name? I think her name was Darai. She played Okoye. She's 41 as well.
Right.
Like, it's so wild how young these people are really. Anyway, but yeah, and when erik-killmonger took his scars, I was like, wait. I guess I could to see how they were trying to, because obviously he couldn't just have the scarring from being in America in a sense, so they had to kind of tie it back into, the African. And I guess it was cool. It was just a little off and weird to me, because I know that that's an actual ritual and custom done by an actual tribe, an actual tradition. So it was kind of weird when he decided to scar himself for
Yeah, I wonder
for the
how
amount of
like
people
you
killed.
just sat there and just nicked off. Well, I guess. But how do you feel about Erik-Killmonger? Because I know, because I don't really consider him a villain. I mean, I know he was supposed to be a villain in the movie, I guess. But there was a lot of things. I even tweeted like, oh, he was like a low-key Hotep because quite frankly, I did not know what his role was, you know? So, watching the movie and seeing how everything came to light, and I was like, okay, cool. And there's even certain things that he was saying, or you're like, damn, like, you're kind of right. And then, so even though it's like T'Challa, you want him to win, he's all about justice and handling things the right way. There was some things that Eric was saying that you're kind of like,
Okay, so
it could be true.
I think
What do you think?
there are a few answers to that, and I think that kind of ties in some points I want to get into later. So what I want to do is I want to just put that, I want to table that, right? How do I feel about Erik-Killmonger? Because it really ties into a bigger issue with Africans and I guess the Black diaspora just in general, right? So before I get to that, who were your favorite characters and why in the movie?
Honestly, I really love Lupita's character Nakia. Right?
Nakia, yep.
Yeah, Nakia, because I liked what she was doing. She kind of wanted to go out and help others. Came back, is doing her thing. A love interest of my new boo Chadwick Boseman, whatever. But she was level-headed.
Just to let you know though that it's so weird that they were love interests in a movie, but like the real Black Panther, he ends up marrying Ororo Monroe, who plays Storm. So I guess I don't know if they're gonna really follow, because even the movie doesn't really follow the comic books per se, because I believe Erik-Killmonger's history is a little different in the actual comic books as well. So they try to Marvel tends to switch stuff up on a big screen just because of maybe some rights issues and just to make things kind of flow better. But just to your point,
T'Challa marries Storm?
Storm, yeah. Because Storm is African, right? You didn't know that?
Wait.
Okay.
Oh my God, my whole life is being my face is like, what?
Okay. Her name is Aurora. Her name is Aurora Monroe. Okay, but he married Storm in the comic book. So and if you actually look at Black Panther, like the person who's standing beside him is Storm. But yeah, continue with your favorite characters.
Ew. Oh, wow. I'm not really a big comic book head. I'm sorry if everybody knew that, but I didn't, but I really didn't. So I'm actually really embarrassed and I'm sad. Okay. But Nakia was definitely one of my favorites. And just the way, Lupita looked good as hell in that movie. Let me tell you, when she came onto that screen and her chocolate skin was glistening and I'm just looking at her like, ooh, like she looked good. Like yes. Okay, Nakia. She's my favorite.
She ain't look better than Angela Bassett though. I'm sorry.
Who? Angela Bassett looked good.
She was a whole meal.
Good.
Oh my God.
I mean, I was a little tight. I mean, the dreadlocks looked nice when at first it was kind of like in the dark.
They look good.
But then when I saw them like a little, because it was too top heavy. And if you see the movie, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Like, it was just too much. Like, you could tell it was like one of them, like full locks wigs, whatever. There was just something that was a little off at the top-ish, but it still looked nice. I think the gray locks actually did look nice on her, and she looked beautiful. And my first favorite character is T'Challa's sister. What was her name? Shuri,
yeah.
Shuri, right? Oh my God. And you know what? Can I just shout out Black Panther in terms of the roles of women in the movie? They look so good. They had strong roles. Like Okoye was the leader of, the warrior.
She was a general. Yep.
Yeah, the general. And then Shuri, very advanced with the technology and vibranium and things like that. So, Nakia, she goes off and does her own thing, and they didn't put them in a stereotypical, type of like love role, like, oh my God, I'm yearning for your love, T'Challa. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I really like the representation of women in the movie, and Shuri was definitely my favorite too.
So just to add to that, which might actually make you more of your favorite. She's actually, I think she's rumored to be the smartest person in the Marvel universe. So she's even smarter than Tony Stark as well. So that's to add to it. Yeah,
I really like
That's
it. Oh, and then my third favorite, sorry, I forgot to mention, was, I'm sorry, who was the king again? There was so many some things going on that the king of the mountains,
M'Baku.
M'Baku. He was my favorite
Yeah, that was the
too.
guy's name.
He was chill, relaxed. You know what I'm saying? And at the end, when he came out swinging with his people, and they over there yelling, woo, 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 woo. I was like, nigga, fuck these niggas up, because he want to go over there talking about trying to turn on your own people. I was like, I see you, Mr. What's his name? The one from Get Out in the movie. What's his name in the movie?
His name is Wakani.
Wakani?
I think so. I think his name is Wakani. That's played by
you just did too much.
That's played by David Kaluuya from Get Out, guys.
I think his name is Daniel.
No, his name is Wakabi. Sorry, Wakabi.
Wakabi?
Yeah, Wakabi. But he was cool. He was just a little Joe for me because, like, I guess I can see how. Okay, let me not say too much because this also ties into your question with Erik-Killmonger. So I'm going to table that as well. All right, guys, like there's so much to dissect in this movie that it's like, there's just so much in the movie. And hopefully one day we should have like a get together, all of us, a Black Panther discussion event or something, and just talk about Black Panther in general. But anyway, my favorite characters from the movie, I think you have to be Njidaka, son of Njobu, aka Erik-Killmonger. He's definitely number one.
But why is he number one for you?
His passion, the reasons why he wanted to do things, he could fight his ass off, yo. Like he was whooping T'Challa's ass.
Oh, it was breaking my heart. When he threw him in the water, I was like, fuck Erik-Killmonger. I'm like,
and when he said, is this your king? Is this y'all king? I was like, yo, this man is wild. Like, just from him, like in the beginning of him actually shooting the girl that I guess he was supposed to like, from there I knew he was a savage. When he killed her to get to Claw, who, by the way, Claw was amazing in the movie. Like, for comic relief, he was hilarious. His little ad-libs he had, the little comments, hilarious. Erik-Killmonger, just his acting in general, the reasons why he wanted to come back to Wakanda, his emotions. I think anybody, especially if you're Black American, you can definitely sort of relate to Erik-Killmonger. The fact that he was just about action was dope. Okoye, the head of the Dora Milaje, amazing. Like, she was just a no-nonsense woman. That's a woman, like, I guess it's just beautiful to see. Somebody who knows what she wants. Somebody who is probably loyal to a fault.
Yeah, definitely loyal to a fault.
Like, and she's just about that action, yo. Like, she is about it. No games whatsoever.
And like, I like that part where wait. You about to say the same thing when what's his name? Oh, I forgot his name again. The one that whatever tribe with the rhinos, right? And she Wakabi came and the rhino, yes, Wakabi, and the rhino was straight charging, and then she comes and stand right in front of it, and the rhino looked at her and I said, look at her, she a bad one. She a bad one.
Just started licking her. No, but the part I really enjoyed was when he touched the white guy, the U.S. spy, touched Everett Ross. So Everett Ross is the CIA guy. When he touched T'Challa when they were interrogating Claw in the room, and she started speaking. I don't know. I think she was speaking Tosha or whatever she was speaking. That South African language. She was like, if he touches you one more time, I'm going to put him through the desk. I was like, yo. But anyway, she's definitely one of my
You
favorite
definitely
characters.
want somebody like her on your team, you know?
You're like, no. You need somebody like her on your team. Somebody who's about that action. Somebody who is ready to throw it down when it's time to throw it down. Like no games whatsoever. She does no talking. Is fight first, ask questions later. That's who she is. Okoye is straight flames. And who would I say? And M'Baku. M'Baku was hilarious. M'Baku is me. I am M'Baku. That guy is
Oh my
just,
God.
I don't know, hands down hilarious. Just hilarious. Like when they were arguing in his I guess in his house, I guess, and he was like, "Are you done? Are you done?"
Yo, that shit had me rolling.
I'm like, that is a Nigerian man right there.
Right.
I don't care what nobody says. That is a straight Nigerian man. Like he had me
And he
dying.
did the accent really well because I really thought he was Nigerian. Well. I did not know he was so from Tobago.
Yeah,
so,
he did it so well. He did it so well. And like when the Everett Ross started talking, who plays the CIA guy, he was like, ooh, 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 ooh. Like, you do not speak here. I was like, yo, the way, honestly, if you were white, the way, you probably felt some type of way in that movie, yo, because like it's so awkward. Like when Shuri called him the colonizer. I was like, yo.
I see. You see why she my fave? She was like, good morning, colonizer. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, hello. Do we address them as such or not?
Yo, I was like, yo, no. And she said with such a straight face, it was so wild. But I guess we could go right to your question. Do I consider Erik-Killmonger, aka Njidaka, son of Njobu, a villain? I don't think you could call him a villain in the natural sense of the word, and like a Joker who just wants chaos, or any of these whack other villains who just want to be villains just because. I think the best person you could compare him to is kind of Magneto. Magneto is a person who really just wants to be protected, who doesn't want mutants to suffer at the hands of humans just because, they are being, prosecuted and stuff like that. So he's taking things into his own hands. So he's not necessarily a bad guy. He's like a Malcolm X.
Maybe, yeah. Well, Magneto sometimes is a little misguided, but that's.
Yeah. But Erik-Killmonger's history has made him the way he is. The reason why he's that way is just because he was left by T'Chaka in the beginning. His father was killed. No explanation whatsoever. He felt that, obviously blacks are being oppressed around the world and they had no means of fighting back. But here was Wakanda with all the technology in the world, with all the weapons, such a strong nation who had the means to help, but just didn't because they didn't want to get into the world's affairs. So do I could really consider him a villain? No, I guess I'll consider him a victim of his circumstance, somebody who could have been better had he been in a better environment, but because he wasn't, that's how he turned out, and, would you consider him a villain though in the natural sense of the word?
No, I actually wouldn't. And I kind of stated that a little bit earlier as well, is that, like you said, a victim of his circumstance. I think everything he did was to lead up to what he thought he deserved. I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at, your history, everything about it. And you were left,
exactly.
and basically now.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Stop talking. and everything you did afterwards, and I think part of it too, and I was actually reading, I think, piece on Twitter about, the portrayal, I guess, of like Black Americans in Wakanda. Is that they kind of present to him, or at least what we were seeing before we realized his true history was that he was kind of like not like a thug, but just a guy just trying to stick up people and rob museums, I guess, and do whatever until we realized his ulterior motive, which was to get to Wakanda. He even killed his girl, which I think she had a bigger role in the comics. I guess her name was Nightshade, but we didn't really hear her speak. in the movie, but just um everything leading up to that point, him getting to Wakanda, even him challenging T'Challa for the throne, like everything he did was to position himself as to where he technically was supposed to be if he wasn't left. So I can't be mad at what he's doing. I can't be mad at the fact that he wants black people to do better and have access to the things that, you know, black people in
Which rightfully
Wakanda have.
theirs. Yep.
You know, I can't be
Yep.
mad at that. Do I think you burning the vibranium was crazy? I looked at that like
So it wasn't a vibranium he burnt. He burnt the flowers that gave the tribal leaders the Black Panther powers.
I thought that whole time I thought that was vibranium.
No. So the vibranium itself is a metal, like it's a natural resource. So that whole cave where they fought at the bottom, that's where the vibranium was. What he burnt was just a flower. Was a flower that gives the Black Panther power. So like, you know.
That's why they drink it and stuff like that. Cause I was confused. Cause I was like, I thought there was a whole mountain. So I was like, okay, so maybe these are the flowers that kind of harvest. I was a little confused at that scene. I'm not going to lie. So I just thought it was vibranium that they were burning.
So and just keep in mind, like, I mean, a lot of people think that anybody can just drink it. But if I'm not mistaken, those of royal blood can actually take a drink of that flower and survive it and get the powers. Anybody, you can't just randomly, any Joe Schmo just can't go drink that flower and get Black Panther powers. Nah, it don't work that way. That's why if you think about it, the only people that could challenge T'Challa were the heads of the other tribes. The
royalty.
Exactly, the royalty. And M'Baku, obviously he lost, but yeah. But I mean, like I said, so that question, the reason I wanted to address that question later was because it kind of ties into the next question, which I wanted to ask. How do you feel about Wakanda itself hiding itself from the world? Do you think that they shouldn't, especially with erik-killmonger, blacks around the world suffering and Wakanda having that technology? Do you think that Wakanda should have showed itself to the world?
That's a very good question. And even in the movie, I felt conflicted while watching it, because I felt like I understood the reason why they isolated themselves from the world and had people think they were a third world country is because it's nasty out there. It's just so many things that are going on. And if you have an opportunity, and I guess this is where, I guess in a sense it's ignorance, because you have the opportunity to close yourself off and not be bothered with the ways of the world, as Solange would say. It's crazy. It's like you do it because it's like, wow, you don't want to be involved. But at the same time, it's like there are so many people who are dying and suffering. There's so many ways that, because Wakanda is very rich, very, very rich, they really could help other people. In a sense, it's kind of like, how do you go your whole life without even, helping anyone? It's crazy. But at the same time, I can't be mad at them for wanting to put Wakanda first. So I felt conflicted. I'm not going to lie. And quite frankly, I don't feel like I have 100% answer, but I do think if you have the opportunity though to help others, you should. Do I understand why you are also a recluse? Yes, because it's like, why do you want to invite a whole bunch of problems when you don't have any of them to your country? Because you are opening yourself up for potential threats and just a disruption in your way of living, which seems to be like utopia in Wakanda. And quite frankly, we all kind of want to live in utopia. If you have the chance to, why not? So, I mean, at the end of the movie, you do see that he brought up the building where his uncle was killed and decided to make it a resource center. So, and also to the think piece that I was reading, which I guess they stated a whole lot of things regarding, like I said, the portrayal of Black people in the movie, because they stated, Michael B. Jordan or erik-killmonger kind of being portrayed as a thug. As we know in the comics, he's actually very well educated, MIT grad.
Yep.
Yeah, and things like that. Also, being left behind. basically disregarding Black Americans in the movie, and then he ends up dying at the end. Same way with Nightshade, even though we wouldn't even know that was Nightshade in the movie because she didn't really say much at all. She was in the movie for like 2 seconds, then she was killed. How Everett Ross kind of ends up playing a hero where Michael B. Jordan dies at the end, So they said, like, how is it that a white person is more of a hero than Erik-Killmonger or like Nightshade or anything like that? And, going back to the beginning of the movie, even the two, before we knew they were Wakandan, it looked like they were planning like a car robbery or something like that. So basically that portrayal of Black Americans weren't feeling, I'll definitely link these in our show notes as well. So what do you think about that as well? I know that has nothing to do with your question, but I still wanted to get your opinion on that.
It's interesting. I think one thing you have to also realize is that the Marvel Universe, I guess, is I don't know if I think Black Panther was written itself by Black people. I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think they did have Black writers.
But the Marvel Universe itself is owned by, it's like a white entity in a sense, it's owned by white people. So I can see how there is still some sort of, I guess for lack of a better term or phrase, white supremacy in Black Panther. Because that also kind of ties in with what I just saw just now, which says Black Panther is a deeply evil film. Okay. It dangles the idea of global Black liberation in front of you, paints that as villainous, then ends in an orgy of the freest Black people to ever walk the earth, slaughtering each other to protect whites. That shit turned my stomach. And it legit just hit me like...
To protect whites?
Yeah, to protect whites. Because if you think about it, right, they were the reason why, T'Challa didn't want to give erik-killmonger, weapons to go across the globe was because other people were going to die as well, So I guess, I mean, there's so many ways to look at it. Like with anything, there's always room for progress, right? There's always, you can't please everybody. But the movie itself kind of, man, I'm trying to unpack everything, bro. It's heavy. It's a lot.
It's a lot. And I think to that point, the reason why I brought that up, because, also in the piece, it was kind of like, oh, well, the Africans have all the technology and stuff to liberate Black people all across the globe, and they're holding their hostage, and it kind of went hand in hand with the representation or the portrayal of Black Americans in the movies. So that's why I think, I guess I wanted to know how you felt about that, as well as, do you think Wakanda has, have to show themselves to the world? Do you think they have that responsibility to liberate Black people all around the world? Is that Wakanda's job? Okay,
is that a job? I don't think, one, I don't like the way they kind of portrayed Killmonger in the end. Actually, no, not that. He was, in the end, his portrayal was okay. I don't like the way they left him off as him dying. I'm hoping with Black Panther 2, because there's supposed to be a Black Panther 2 coming out, I'm hoping that he actually didn't die, because especially with the whole technology in Wakanda, like, they find some way to allow him to live and he becomes good or something of that nature, because I don't want him dying.
Right, because I don't think he actually really died, because it's really open-ended. We don't see a burial or anything.
Exactly. It's so open-ended. And I think his views are very important for Wakanda and the liberation of Black people across the globe. Is it Wakanda's duty to help each and every Black person across the globe? Personally, I don't think so, because if you think about it, Wakanda is literally just one nation amongst others, right? So Wakanda is literally just a Nigeria, it's just a Ghana, it's just a South Africa that has the resources, to do things. So I think they can help where they can. They can definitely still do what is necessary to help those around the globe, but I can't sit down and say that yes, it is solely their responsibility to help Black people across the country, across the world. So
right, and I think, and to your point too, because just in the same way I guess, like I said, I was kind of conflicted, but I really do feel like if you have the opportunity to help, you should. But even with Black Panther in general, a lot of people felt, I guess this is the new coming of age, and there was a lot of things they expected from the movie. Some people are saying that proceeds from ticket sales should go towards, helping the Black or African community. Some people stated that there were certain things that weren't represented in the movie, like I just stated before, the portrayal of Black Americans in Black Panther and stuff. Do you think that was Black Panther's responsibility as well to kind of be encompassing of all things Black?
Man, it's such a gray area with that, because as much as, every other Marvel movie, right, that has come out, nobody has demanded the proceeds to go to, to helping the Black community or to helping, maybe poor disenfranchised people and things like that, right? Now, granted, at the same time, no other Marvel movie was also like purely this Black, so, there's just so many things to go with it. Should Marvel, which is I guess a white owned entity, should they give Black people, should Black people benefit from this? I don't know. It's really hard to say, because granted, yes, the Black folks are the ones going to see this movie to make the movie more to make it profitable. At the same time, we're also not really. I think we're more invested in the characters of the movie, like going to see support, Chadwick Boseman, going to support Michael B, going to support Sterling K. Brown, Lupita, Derai, all these people, right?
Right.
Because they are leading this role, going to support them as opposed to supporting Black Panther itself, the actual character. So there's just so many things that that go with this, and it's hard to say. I would hope that they do, and I don't even expect. Honestly, I don't expect Chadwick Boseman. I don't expect all these characters in the movie to go take their personal money to go help the Black community. I don't expect it at all, because at the end of the day, it's like, I guess you can say it's not their responsibility, but at the same time, it is. I don't know, yo. I honestly don't know. I don't know.
I honestly, sorry to cut you off, but I honestly don't feel like it's their responsibility. I understand why people think it's a good idea and why they should do it, but at the end of the day, kind of similar to what you said, it's a movie. It's fictional, and I kind of wonder, maybe I'm just not privy or whatever. Wow, I can't speak today. Yeah. Privy to it, but with other movies, like maybe like a Selma or things like that, did we demand proceeds to go towards
exactly right
things like, I think is it consistent across the board? Are we asking this from every movie, or are we just asking it for Black Panther? So I think. I don't think they have to. I mean, it's great if they did, obviously, but it is not their responsibility to do that. And I think sometimes we place responsibilities on certain things or projects or people where I don't think is necessarily fair. Like I don't think it's fair that we expect all of these things for Black Panther in terms of tackling all these social injustices and trying to represent all types of people and stuff. Like, not everything can be all encompassing. I'm sorry, like, especially like in a movie like this, I think, maybe there's room for another movie to tackle some of the things that we do want seen, but Black Panther wasn't that movie. And I don't think it's fair to place that on Ryan Coogler or any of the directors and stuff like that, because it's based off a comic at the end of the day. And granted, they do have the artistic direction to take it where they like, but at the end of the day, it's still based off of something, So I don't think it's their responsibility to encompass certain things that people wanted. And at the end of the day, it's hard to please everybody. Unfortunately,
Word.
there's somebody that probably would have been upset either way, even if they did tackle some of the things that we did talk about. You know, even if they did donate money, or let's just say they donated to like Black Americans, then it would be like, why didn't you donate it to kids in Africa, vice versa, yep. Or so. So it's hard to please everyone. So at the end of the day, I think you just got to do what you think is best. And at the end of the day, I think it was a great movie. And I think it did what it was supposed to do. And I enjoyed it, and I will definitely see it again. Honestly, I'll probably see it somewhere else because I was really sitting next to some very ignorant people. Well, this one guy. The whole movie, he kept saying Wakanda. First of all, he was talking loud as hell, and he kept saying Wakanda. And I'm like, boy, are you watching the movie? Like, it is Wakanda. And he's arguing with his date next to him, like, it's Wakanda. And she was like, no, it's Wakanda. And he was like, no, they've been saying Wakanda this whole time. And I'm just looking at them like, are y'all serious right now? He talked the entire movie. He Snapchatted the entire movie.
Chima,
I swear to you, not. Like, he had his phone out the whole time, just like this.
We've been fighting, you.
I was like, so you want to ruin the movie for your followers? I was like, okay, you are an asshole. So.
Nah, we've been fighting. I don't know, but like I said, there's so much to do with it. I mean, one last thing I do want to say about, so I think Wakanda should hide itself from the world. You can still have relief efforts and stuff like that, right? Without showing your true value to the world, because the way, as we have seen, even in the movie when Everett Ross was interrogating Claw, and Claw was telling him that, he only took a small piece of vibranium and they have like a whole mountain full. You could see Eric Ross's face like, wow, really? Like, how come they didn't tell the world? Them. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm about to go colonize. I'm about to go tell my government and stuff like that. And that, honestly, it turned me off so much because it just reminded me of what is going on now, how the West would come over to Africa and come and rape and pillage the entire continent for their profit. And that would happen in Wakanda, because what would happen is people want to start setting up economic agreements and trades with Wakanda so they can use their vibranium and things, and then greed comes into play, and before you know it, Wakanda is colonized by another white man. So
right, and I think a lot of people did mention that as well, kind of like Wakanda looks like, or maybe would be an idea of what it would be if Africa wasn't colonized by whatever European country or so.
And
something to think about.
Yeah, but I mean, all in all, Wakanda, Black Panther is a great movie. I think you guys should go see it. I'm going to definitely go see it another few times. So if anybody wants to see me in the Philly, Jersey area, hit me up. Either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday nights, we can go watch it. I definitely want to see it again. So, yeah. But,
let us know what you think.
Word.
Using the hashtag.
Hashtag Ask Both Sides, and tweet us. Do everything. Hit us up and let us know. Add anything to plug before we dip out?
Nope, that's it.
All right, guys. I want to say thank you for another week of Both Sides Podcast. If you haven't watched the movie Black Panther, go watch it. Showing in all theaters now. Thank you so much for listening. Peace.
Bye.